Super excited about this webinar. In the past, we've talked about swollen feet, we talked about some movement things, we've talked about nutrition. Now, at this part of the webinar series, we're going deeper. We're going deeper into the body, into the organs, getting inside that rib cage, and talking more about what the benefits of the liver is. So we're going to talk about 5 bad foods for the liver. And this is the beginning of our kind of holiday prep series. We got a lot of fun things coming up for the holidays here at Native Path in these webinars. So a little housekeeping before we get started. As we already mentioned, to ask a question, all you need to do is simply use the Q&A feature located at the bottom of your Zoom window. And I will answer as many questions as I can during the presentation, and we'll also save time at the end to respond more. And also Krista and Rachel are here to help me answer questions during this webinar. So if you have any questions at any time and I'm not able to get to it, because sometimes I can't see it, just go ahead and put that out there, and Rachel and Krista might get to it even before I can at the end. So also, the purpose of this webinar is to educate you, promote understanding and knowledge of liver and whole body wellness topics. And feel free to share this information with your friends. We're going to email you a recording with a link to this webinar once we're done. And you can just go ahead and forward that to all your friends. And that's a great way to get them on the path as well. So, agenda for today. Number 1, we're going to talk about what does your liver do? Do we actually know? We're going to talk about what it is and how it helps your body and keeps you healthy. And we're going to talk about also the signs of what a bad liver looks like. But then we're going to talk about 5 dietary culprits that can do irreversible damage to your liver. There's a lot of foods that we eat in our culture that are just really hurting the liver. And if we just take out those 5 foods or readjust them in a way, we can really make a big difference. And then the good stuff, we're going to talk about 3 science-backed liver health foods that seniors should eat daily. And I'll also say you don't necessarily have to be a senior to get the benefit. I'm 44. I eat these 3 foods every day. So we'll talk about what those are. And at the end, we'll have a Q&A with Dr. Chad, so with myself. So at the end, we'll look through any questions that haven't been answered, and we'll make sure that we get to them. Let's come back to the chat here, see where we're at. People checking in. Bonita from Pennsylvania. Nicole from North Carolina. I love it. Thank you all so much for coming. Beth from Baltimore. Yoo-hoo. All right. Okay. So let's talk about what does your liver do? Like, what does it actually function as? You hear a lot of people with, I've got liver disease, or I've got cirrhosis, or this going on. Like, what is the function of the liver? And the way I like to think of the liver is kind of 2 things. It's kind of like your filter, and your air filter. Just yesterday, my wife Brenda had me replace the air vents, right? Which basically filter out the air, doesn't allow bad particles to get in our house so we don't breathe bad stuff. And then we have the other thing that the liver is kind of like, is it's kind of like a thermostat in a way. We have the thermostat that keeps it at a certain temperature. If it's hot or cold outside, kind of works with that. So the liver in many ways is kind of the same thing. So it regulates your hormones. It regulates a lot of different hormones. It does your sex hormones, thyroid hormones, cortisone, insulin, glucagon, adrenal hormones. So it's very much tied to regulating your hormones, and most people don't think about that. It also helps rid the body of waste or toxins, just like the vent, the filter through the air conditioning system. We don't want bad particles to go over your body. The liver is very much a filter in that way. And it builds proteins and makes bile, which helps you absorb fats. There's a big story and things to learn about fats in the liver, so we'll get to a lot of that. And it also adjusts your cholesterol levels. Most people don't even correlate that your heart health and your cardiovascular health has anything to do with your liver, but they're majorly connected because of that filtering process and this whole thing that happens between creating the right ratio inside your cholesterol levels. And then it stores sugar for when you really, really need it. Sometimes you will need it for really hard, intense activities, but sometimes you don't need it. So there's a fine line of how much sugar you actually want to store in the liver and the type of sugar. And then it, like I mentioned, overall, it filters and removes bacteria from your blood. So big things here: filtering and regulating. Filtering and regulating. Your liver is like your thermostat, and it's like your new filter that you put in your AC system. So unfortunately, the American Liver Foundation shared these scary stats at the end of 2021. I mentioned a lot about how in our modern culture, we tend to see chronic disease on the rise, despite all these advances in technology, and it's very much the case with the liver. So 100 million plus Americans have a fatty liver disease. and 200 plus million will develop liver fibrosis disease as a result. Now, fibrosis is really a result of diminished blood flow. We'll talk more about what that is. And then 5 million will progress to cirrhosis and possible end-stage liver failure. So you can see how it progresses here. It starts with fatty liver, goes to liver fibrosis, and then goes to cirrhosis of the liver. And that's when we have more serious issues. Some will be lucky enough to be listed as a transplant, which is the only cure that conventional medicine has for this chronic end-stage liver failure. But 30% of those will actually pass away waiting for that transplant. It's very hard to get it. So we want to be proactive here. We want to get you on the path and taking care of your liver and supporting your liver and really stopping the things that are going to be toxic to your liver. Here's the stages of liver disease. When everything's working properly, the hormones are being regulated, the thermostat's working, the filter's working, everything in the liver is functioning properly. That's what you want. That's a healthy liver. You can see the color there. It has a brighter redness. It's cleaner looking, healthier looking. And then that first stage is you get fatty liver disease, right? And this is a common condition caused by the storage of extra fat in the liver, more than we need. And then going on, we'll get to fibrosis of the liver. Fibrosis, I mentioned this earlier, but it's when you have diminished blood flow to the liver. And you can see here the color is a little different, right? It's more brown, it's not as red. So things are starting to change. If that keeps going unchecked, this is a very sensitive time when you have fibrosis of the liver, because it's a good time to, go fix things and go back to fatty liver and healthy liver. But if you don't, it can get worse. It can go to cirrhosis of the liver. And that's where you start to have scarring of the liver. And that's where long-term damage and maybe even end-stage liver failure can occur. So we want to avoid that at all costs. But that just shows you the different stages of liver disease. So what are the signs that your liver may be fatty or inflamed? First of all, if you're in the chat, do you have any liver issues going on? And if you do, what kind of signs are you seeing? I would love to hear what you're saying and kind of what you're seeing symptom-wise on your end if you have any liver issues. But the top signs that most people at the very beginning stages don't even notice it because there's no real obvious symptoms. As things go on, in many cases, you're going to see fatigue. You're going to feel tired a lot. You're going to feel pain, a lot of inflammation. Abdominal swelling is a big one. I used to see that a lot when I was in home health physical therapy and working in hospitals. We would start to see that in a big way, abdominal swelling coming on, even though they maybe hadn't eaten much, right? Red palms, the body getting hot, getting very inflamed, and then eventually it can lead to jaundice. So if you haven't heard of jaundice, that's when things start to turn yellow. You'll get kind of yellow in the feet, yellow in the palms, really yellow in the face, yellow in the skin, all over, and then weight loss. So we see that because people aren't absorbing things very well, not filtering out things very well. You won't get the protein that you need to your muscles. You eventually start to lose a lot of really important muscle mass. And unfortunately, over time, inflammation and scarring of the liver, again, that cirrhosis can occur with much more serious symptoms. So now for some good news. We got some good news. So there's what can you eat? It's really important to know that what you eat can have a profound impact and effect on your liver and the health of your liver. And I want to always stop here and say, you are in control of your environment. You're in control of what foods you put in your body. You're in control of how you sleep. You're in control of the liquids that you're putting in your body. You're also in control of the thoughts that you think and things you feel. A lot of the times we're told in our modern culture that it's in your genetics. It runs in your family and there's nothing you can do about it. So take this pill, right? And I really want people to open up and realize there's a lot you can do about it. And a lot of the information we've gotten about what's healthy and what's not healthy has been wrong, and it's gotten to a bad point. So we want to really create awareness, and let you know that you can take power in your own hands. So that leads us to 5 surprising foods that you may be eating consistently that can actually hurt your liver and cause more damage. So what are those foods? Number 1 is crackers. This is a popular snack that may seem innocent, right? It may say, it's just a cracker, I'm just eating this, but it's not really the best option for your liver, right? Any foods with refined carbohydrates and sugar can be problematic for the liver, according to the research. It can be easy to just munch on some crackers mindlessly, but you really got to keep in mind that it's really working your liver overtime. And you want to be careful about that. So again, this comes down to refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates are a big problem we're going to see because it causes a lot of insulin, a lot of glucose to be produced in your bloodstream. That causes your pancreas to produce a lot of insulin. All of that process is what gets us in trouble and makes the liver work overtime. So you really got to be careful with crackers. Second one here is salted or cured meats, right? Too much fatty meat and or salt is a problem for the liver, says the American Liver Foundation. So it should go without saying that cured meats like prosciutto or even cold cuts like ham, bologna, salami are all foods that are best eaten sparingly. Instead, what you want to do is opt out for high quality lean meats like chicken, turkey, or seafood. So again, it comes down to food quality and knowing that, especially when it comes to proteins, you're not just what you eat, but you are exactly the way that animal lived, right? So if you're eating an animal that was raised on a farm lot, that was fed grains and hormones and antibiotics, and just not a very healthy environment, that affects the quality of the fat inside that meat, right? Whereas if you have an animal that was raised in its natural environment, eating grass, getting sun, drinking water, moving around, avoiding the hormones and the antibiotics, the quality of the fat inside that meat is a whole lot different. And what we're seeing here is these cured meats, especially like prosciutto, ham, bologna, salami, those are very low quality meats and they actually have a lot of fat and typically come from bad sources. So you're getting a lot of bad sourced meat or a lot of bad sourced fat that can be damaging to your liver. And a lot of what those foods too is they over preserve with too much salt, right? Salt necessarily isn't the problem. If you just cook your chicken or your beef or your turkey that's grown from a good source and you put some salt on there, that's not really the problem. The problem is when the salt is used as a preservative with these very cured meats and it's overly salted in your body and your liver doesn't know how to process that. That's a problem. Also, another problem, fruit cups and fruit drinks. These are two things that I see a lot of people thinking they're healthy, right? We're all told to eat more fruit and drink your orange juice and your apple juice for all the vitamins, but these are also very problematic. So this one actually comes to a surprise to most people. But according to a 2013 study, overconsumption of fruits can actually introduce too much fructose to your body, which the liver may have issues processing and can result in fatty liver issues. Canned and packaged fruits are also often packed with artificial sweeteners and added sugars. So a big thing here we want to talk about is fructose. So fructose is unique compared to glucose or sucrose or all the other sugars, right? Fructose is a type of sugar that gets processed, metabolized straight to the liver, right? It goes right there. It doesn't go to somewhere else. It goes right there, and it can be problematic for the liver because of overburdening with too much sugar, right? Fruit juices in and of themselves are even more problematic, not only because they have fructose like real fruit, but fruit juices, they take out the fiber. And fiber in this way is kind of your friend. It slows down the secretion or the release of fructose into your body. But when you have it in a juice format, really the fiber is stripped out in many cases. And that can be very problematic to really overburdening the liver. And these fruit cups, like we mentioned here, they will add in, like especially the stuff you find in the grocery store or like the gas station is really cheap. They will add in extra artificial sweeteners and extra sugars, right? Overloading your liver with sugar, having it process way too much than it's designed for. It's not healthy at all. So you really got to be careful with fruit cups. It's not saying you can't have fruit. You can definitely cut up a banana and an apple and some berries, but it's the way these things are being preserved. When you buy it prepackaged, really a huge problem, and you really want to avoid fruit drinks at all costs. I misspelled fruit drinks. Oh my gosh. Common condiments. Ketchup, mustard, sometimes mustard, but a lot of these dressings, right? These can be a huge problem, mainly for the same reason, for the amount of sugar and often the high fructose corn syrup that is in a lot of these conventional, conventionally grown type of condiments. You really got to be careful with them. It's not just the obvious sources of sugar in your diet that could be causing serious damage to your liver. So more dangerous sources of fructose are within which the sugar content is less obvious, such as ketchup, salad dressings. Just 1 tablespoon of Heinz ketchup contains 4 grams of sugar, right? And 1 serving of Kraft creamy French salad dressing, for example, delivers 6 grams of sugar. So again, we think we're eating healthy because if we say, I'm going to eat a salad, I'm going to eat a nice salad, and I'll put this really healthy salad dressing on there, we got to look at the labels. If it's got sugar in there, it's not your friend at all. If it has fructose in there, it's especially not your friend in any way. So really watch that. Other thing, and I will hit this home over and over and over again, just completely get rid of these industrial vegetable oils and seed oils from your pantry. They're not good for you in any way. So these include sunflower oil, corn oil, soybean oil, all these vegetable oils, right? They come from mono-agriculture. They're taking land, they're using pesticides and herbicides to kill off all the other plants and insects that can just grow one thing, right? And they can mass produce it. But it turns out the way they produce it and how it's being fed to us is incredibly harmful to our body. And what's really sad is it's often promoted as heart healthy. But we're getting more information, right? So these are omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acid rich fats. And the American Society for Nutrition found in 2020 that this fatty acid composition, rather than the amount of fat, may actually be the key factor inducing obesity, right? So just like we've been talking about how sugar is a big problem, the quality of the fat, the type of fat is a huge factor in your health, particularly your liver. So widespread overuse of these oils has been implicated in the rise of system-wide inflammation, modern lifestyle diseases, and contributing to liver damage by way of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Even worse, when heated, the polyunsaturated omega-6 fats found in these common cooking oils generate a substance known as hydroxynonenal, which researchers now believe plays a key role in the generation of cell death, right? So again, in our culture, we have this overconsumption of omega-6 fatty acids and an underconsumption of omega-3 fatty acids. We're eating way too much omega-6 fat because we're consuming these polyunsaturated fatty acids. And it's also because we're consuming poor quality meat, eating protein sources coming from poorly raised environments, right? So we really have to be careful about these things. Get rid of the vegetable oils. We're going to give you some tips on what to use, but definitely get rid of the vegetable oils. And we want to start incorporating good fats into our body. Let's see. Question from Ken here. Let's say you have progressed from a normal, healthy liver to either fatty liver or fibrosis of the liver. Are there conditions reversible with diet or better choices? Yes. So I would say anything that hasn't gone to the point of cirrhosis is reversible. Cirrhosis, it can go so far where it's irreversible. But if you're at the state where you're still at fibrosis or just fatty liver disease, those things can be adjusted and typically recovered through diet and smart supplementation. So that's a really good question, Ken. Thank you. And then we have, let's see. So currently, there is no registered drug for the treatment of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So like what we're talking about right there, it is essential for people to tailor their diets to safeguard the health of their liver. And one thing I want to say right here is I can't tell you how many times I would work with someone who had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. They had fatty liver disease, never had a drink in their life, and thought they were, because of that, they were doing a healthy lifestyle, right? But again, they were putting in the ketchup, they were putting in the dressings, they were drinking fruit juices, thinking they were doing the right thing. How did this happen to me, right? So we want to create awareness around that and really be careful about a lot of those things. So number three here is the science-backed liver health foods that you should be eating daily. This is the good stuff that we want to start implementing and incorporating into our body so that if you are having damage in your liver, if you have noticed some of those symptoms, we can begin to reverse it, right? Go in the other direction, moving from fibrosis to fatty liver back to a healthy liver. That can be done. You can do that. What are those three foods? So I mentioned the bad fats. What are the good fats? One of them that I highly recommend that's very supportive to the liver is coconut oil, and it helps prevent liver fat accumulation, and that helps to balance the blood fats within the liver in your body. The second one is omega-3s. I mentioned this overconsumption of omega-6 that really leads to a lot of inflammation and burdens the body. By the way, omega-6 on its own is not a problem. It's the balance, right? It's way overconsumption of omega-6. We want to bring back that balance and incorporate more omega-3s into our body. And what that does is it helps reduce inflammation and the fat buildup in the liver while also promoting a lower overall BMI. There's a huge connection between the quality of the fats you eat and how much extra fat tissue you're carrying around. And then we have turmeric. It's an ancient yellow spice, been around for over 2,000 years at least, used by humans, but it decreases the levels of two liver damaging enzymes, and reduces other key contributors to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So these are the three foods that we want to focus on, and really, once we get away from the other foods, the crackers, the fructose-laden foods and drinks and sauces and all that stuff, we want to bring in more of these things. It's really important. We got to stop the toxicity and bring in the good stuff, right? So coconut oil is great, and coconut contains MCTs. So if you're not familiar with MCTs, that stands for medium chain triglycerides, which are a powerful fuel for your liver and body. And they do a number of things. They don't need to be broken down or processed by your body. They go straight to your liver, where they can be used as an instant energy source, right? So whereas this MCT goes to your liver and it gets used as energy, things like fructose go straight to your liver and get stored as fat, right? So we want to change that. It's very important. And more efficiently, these MCTs get turned into energy and used by the body, so they're less likely to be stored as fat, like I was saying that fructose does. So we want to change that, MCTs. And the mission, this point is mission critical for the health of your liver, because if too much fat gets stored in your liver and it begins to cram into each liver cell, these cells begin to balloon and your liver starts looking yellow. I mentioned that jaundice thing, and greasy. So this is when the fat can turn toxic. But while coconut oil is an excellent liver food, it can be tough to incorporate into a daily routine, since it has to be heated or blended into most recipes. I always cook with coconut oil, but there's other ways you can get it in there. And also, not surprisingly, it tastes like coconuts. Some people don't like coconuts when they eat coconut oil, like my mom. So that's why at Native Path, we've done some research and found the purest, most bioavailable form of coconut-derived MCTs, and carefully dehydrated these oil-based fats into a lightweight powder. And since evidence suggests that using powder from MCTs instead of conventional liquid oil form is the superior choice, for a few reasons here. So unlike liquid MCT products, using a high quality powder format allows for easier digestion and less gut distress. I see a lot of people using liquid MCTs, and I don't know if you've done it before, but I put liquid MCT in my coffee and I drink it, and it's like I have to go to the bathroom way too fast. It's just too much for the body to handle. So we like the powder form. So that allows your body and liver to utilize the MCTs more efficiently. And with a convenient portable powder, you can simply add a couple of scoops into any hot or cold beverage to push your fat burning metabolism into a higher gear. In addition, our formula, our MCT powder, contains only one ingredient. It's 100% coconut derived MCTs, and you won't find any sugars, artificial flavors, preservatives, or harsh chemicals. And I will say you can get MCTs from other sources, like really the main other one is palm, but we try not to do anything with palm with the MCTs, because the sourcing of palm is not very sustainable and it's not very ethical in terms of what's happening there. So we want to be very careful with palm. Coconut oil MCTs is always going to be your best bet. So this is our MCT pattern. And who's tried our MCT? If you've tried our MCT, I would love to hear how do you like to use it? Do you use it in your coffee? Do you use it in your tea? Just go ahead and put that in the chat. But I personally use it in my coffee every morning. I like to have a scoop of collagen, a scoop of MCT, and then I'll add a little bit of cashew milk or almond milk. We make it at home, do a little frother, and it tastes so good. It's like this little creaminess that can be added to the coffee or the tea. That's really nice. Gives a lot of fat burning potential, and a great way to boost your energy and your metabolism. MCT oil powder. So omega-3s, the second thing I was talking about, right? Omega-3s, and again, we're getting way too much omega-6 in our culture. It leads to a lot of health problems and inflammation, and not enough omega-3. So incorporating more omega-3s is hugely beneficial to you. And one way to do that is fatty fish. And ironically, it's great for lowering the levels of fat in your liver. I know it sounds weird, like if you eat omega-3 fat, how does that lower fat in your liver? Remember, it's the type of fat and the balance. And if you're as health conscious as I think you are, you probably already know it's because of the high levels of omega-3 essential fatty acids that fish contains. And in a review of 10 randomized controlled trials, omega-3 fatty acid supplementation was shown to reduce inflammation, enhance insulin sensitivity, and lower blood triglyceride levels. And these three key factors to naturally improve to protect the health of your liver. So important that you reduce inflammation, enhance insulin sensitivity, and lower your blood triglyceride levels. Very important for the amount of pain you're feeling, your overall metabolism, how much fat you store, how well you are at burning fat, is really dictated by your insulin sensitivity and your cholesterol levels, your health level, your blood, what it looks like, the triglyceride levels, all affected by the quality and quantity of omega-3 you bring in your diet. So this meta-analysis also proved that the 2 types of omega-3s found in krill oil significantly decrease the amount of liver fat observed on an ultrasound. And in summary, the results of our meta-analysis support the beneficial effect of omega-3s in optimizing liver fat and blood lipid levels in patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And we guess omega-3s may slow down the progress of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Unfortunately, only certain types of fatty or oily fish contain enough of the right types of omega-3s to make a difference in your liver health. And many also contain contaminants like mercury, dioxins, and pesticides. So just because something has omega-3, like this fish oil has omega-3 and it has a lot of EPA, DHA, and we should know that maybe it's not the best type. Maybe it's not coming from the best source. Just like I was talking about beef, though, you're not just what you eat, you are what you eats and where it came from. So that's why you see fish oil supplements that are becoming more and more popular. But those have their own problems as well. So the main problem really being that omega-3s in fish oil are almost impossible for your body to absorb. It's not just what you take in, it's how bioavailable it is. In other words, how well your body can absorb it. And with all these problems, it is not so shocking that even with all we know about the power of omega-3s, 80% of Americans still do not have enough of them in their diet. A lot of people are out there taking fish oil, but it's very clear, still not enough. And the reason is bioavailability and the overconsumption of those toxins from the mercury in the water. So fortunately, the secret source way out in the Antarctic Ocean that contains omega-3s, science tells us are 8 times more powerful in fish or fish oil. This is something I hear a lot. It's like, what's the difference between fish, krill oil, what's happening there? So know that taking it every night before bed has been proven to help you avoid the top 3 causes of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I'm talking about krill oil, and it's so helpful in lowering blood triglycerides, reducing liver inflammation. And with Native Path, what we've done is we have a great source, and it's way deep in the Antarctic, cold waters of the Antarctic Ocean, where there's no mercury, there's no pollutants of any kind. And it has EPA, DHA, and these omega-3 fatty acids. And krill oil is unique because it has astaxanthin, and that's another antioxidant. But it's far more bioavailable. Krill oil is, the EPA and DHA in krill oil is far more bioavailable than the fish oil that you're getting over the market or just something on Amazon. And that's really what it comes down to, is how well does your body absorb it? How well can your body utilize it? And we really found that krill oil is the best type of way to start supplementing with omega-3s. And then there's turmeric, the third thing I mentioned, that 2,000-year-old ancient spice. So turmeric contains over 100 known compounds, some of which have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and liver protective qualities. And the most well-known of which is curcumin. And a systemic review of turmeric studies showed that antioxidant effect of curcumin is so powerful, it can help shield your liver from damage done by environmental toxins. This is especially good news for people who take strong drugs for diabetes or other health conditions that might hurt the liver with long-term use. And turmeric and curcumin were also shown to suppress 2 known markers of liver damage, high levels of enzymes ALT and AST, and reduce the amounts of pro-inflammatory proteins found in those suffering from non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. There's one problem with curcumin, though. Alone, it is poorly absorbed in the body. Again, bioavailability, how well you absorb it. In scientific terms, the curcumin compound has what's referred to as low bioavailability. So new Native Path custom blend curcumin soft gels, what we've done is try to solve that problem. And we came up with a really unique way to make the turmeric 185 times more bioavailable. There's a significant difference between the turmeric that you get with our new formula with Native Path than if you go to CVS or Eckerd's or order something on Amazon. Not all turmeric is created equal in the same way that not all fish oils are created equal. So we have what we call full spectrum curcumin, and it's a revolutionary formula that converts curcumin into a water-soluble pH stable form, and that makes it 185 times more bioavailable and 27 times more powerful than any other turmeric supplement that you may have tried before. And we've also implemented something called the micelle technology, meaning it creates microscopic spears that allow curcumin to get into your bloodstream faster and stay there longer for up to 24 hours. And really the difference, what we did is we added black seed oil. So who's heard of black seed oil? My wife Brenda was super big on black seed oil, and but they're packed with many vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals that your body needs to function at its optimal level. And these nutrients include, but are not limited to, calcium, folic acid, iron, zinc, B vitamins, and vitamin E. So a lot of those things you're hearing are good for your bones, they're good for your blood, they're good for your muscles and your health and your immune system. And black seeds are also loaded with a special bioactive compound called thymoquinone. And thymoquinone is a very strong ingredient with major antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And then we, instead of just doing a typical gel, we found out there's an opportunity to make the gel more bioavailable and easier digested. So in our new turmeric formula, we're using a soft gel form, and it really helps the body, like I said, makes it more bioavailable and absorb it. So soft gels are very easy to swallow, even easier than capsules. And that's because they're flexible instead of a hard like capsule. And the soft gel material itself is antioxidant, which means that the contents have a longer shelf life and are well protected against UV rays and oxidation. So antioxidants, you're getting that both from the soft gel and also from the krill oil, which has astaxanthin. And it's great for protecting liver against toxins and damage with a custom blend of curcumin and black seed oil soft gel. So you can see right there, they're totally different than probably what you've seen with most turmeric capsules. It's got turmeric, curcumin, so many things in there with the black seed oil, and the way the gel is put together makes it a superior product. So for everyone here today, this is the good news, is me and my team, and we always try to come up with good ways to make it worth your time to enjoy these webinars. We're doing an exclusive webinar offer. It's called the Liver Balance Bundle, where you can get up to 64% off on our MCT oil powder, our Antarctic krill oil, and our full spectrum curcumin and black seed oil. This is for a limited time. So we're offering this to all our biggest discount, right? This is a web exclusive bundle where you can get up to 64% off, and plus your bundle, your entire bundle will come with free shipping. So we're trying to make this really easy for you. Normally the retail price of these 3 supplements together would be $163, but right now, because you're getting the power of all 3 natural liver balancers at our lowest price ever, as low as $58 per bundle. That's 3 supplements that you can actually get as low as $58 per bundle. And here's where you can see the breakdown. Rachel and Krista are putting some links in the page here in the chat where you can see more of what's going on. But if you go to that page, you'll see this right here, where you can get 1 bundle for $91 and you can save $73. You can get 3 bundles, which is what most people do. And it comes out to $58 for each bundle, and you can save $318, or you can get 2 bundles where you can get free shipping, $75 each, and it costs $178 in savings. So lots of great ways. But if for long term, what we try to say is take advantage of the long term. That way you don't have to keep purchasing, you save more money, and it's easier to stay on the path, right? And the next thing is how do you actually use these things? Like what's the best way to use them and incorporate them into your life and your routine throughout the day? So what I suggest is mixing 1 to 2 scoops of MCT oil powder into your coffee. You can also do it in your tea, and you can also do it in your smoothie if you want. But to do that in the morning, do that ideally when you're taking in caffeine, make sure the sun has come up at least. And then taking 1 to 2 curcumin black seed soft gels about 20 minutes before lunch. That one goes pretty well with some food. And then later in the day, 1 to 2 Antarctic krill soft gels right before bed. Now I always put 1 to 2 here. And the reason why I do that is if you're really dealing with some health issues, if you really need some support, something's kind of really getting uncomfortable for you, that's when you want to live more in that 2 serving range per day. So like 2 scoops of MCT and two servings of curcumin, 2 servings of 2 capsules of krill. And then if you're just for maintenance, if you're feeling good and you just want to support your health, support your liver, that's where you want to be more at just 1 a day. One is completely fine. So this ensures you're getting the maximum benefits of each supplement throughout the day. And that seems to get the best results. And also know that at Native Path, we believe in high quality products. Everything we do is coming from the best sources. We're big on purity, the purest quality products we can get. So, you know, we're very confident in our products, and we offer a risk-free 60-day feel the difference return policy. And what that means is you have 60 days to try out all our products. And if for any reason you're not completely thrilled with the results, and your waist doesn't shrink, your energy doesn't supercharge, and your inflammation in your joints and feet haven't disappeared, and the pain isn't gone. So if for any reason you're not completely satisfied, all you need to do is reach out to our friendly customer care center for assistance. And that way you can be rest assured and order with confidence in knowing that your purchase is backed by our ironclad 60-day feel the difference guarantee. It's a great way to help you just move forward. So with that, I just want to say thank you. I thank you and congratulations. I hope you check out that special link. We're going to email you that as well. But that helps you lock in your special discount pricing. All you got to do is click on that link and Coach Rachel, my mouth is all off today. Coach Rachel entered it into the chat, and Krista did as well. That's going to be emailed to you, and that way you have an option to take advantage of that bundle. So with that, I know we may have some questions. A lot of people, a lot of chats there. But let me see what's going on in the Q&A and see what we have here. So Audrey, so will turmeric and krill lower blood pressure and cholesterol? It can, yeah. And if it needs to be, if your blood pressure is high due to inflammation, if it's high due to, you know, these over accumulations of really toxic omega-6 fats, if that's what's going on, that can be very beneficial to help you lowering it in a good way. I'd say if your blood pressure is lower already, you know, I mentioned it's kind of like a thermostat. So what it's trying to do is get you back to your state of homeostasis. That's the way it works. So if it needs to be lowered, it can do that. Stacy says some people say they can't tolerate the turmeric. Why is that? If that's the case, if someone has a problem tolerating the turmeric, typically what's going on is there could be some acid reflux going on. When most people have come back and we investigate a little more, some people say they have some burping or some coughing or what's going on. Typically that's because they have been eating too many refined carbohydrates, right? And for those people, if we just say, hey, you know, what are you eating? We investigate a little more and we see things like the fruit cups, and we see fruit juices and crackers and condiments. We just say, hey, take those out. Maybe even consider some digestive enzymes to help your body start producing enzymes on its own. And that helps fix the problem right away. But typically it's because people don't have enough digestive force and overconsumption of refined carbohydrates. So that can be fixed in that way. Ruth says, can turmeric cause stomach or intestinal issues? Typically it's not the cause. That's if people are feeling anything like that, it's because of overconsumption of carbohydrates and not enough digestive enzymes being secreted, both of which can be fixed by changing the diet. What about your original turmeric with bioperine? We really wanted but the bioperine is good, and we still have some of those in stock, I believe. But this is what we feel is because of the bioavailability. You know, the bioavailability with what we're doing now with the black seed oil and the new soft gel formula makes it way more powerful. We did a lot more research and really felt comfortable that this was the route we wanted to go with the turmeric, and it's much better quality. So that's what we're doing with the turmeric there. Okay, and I think thank you everybody for helping me answer some questions. Let's see. Thank you, Krista. Thank you, Rachel. What else we got? Okay, I think that's it. Let me see what we got in the chat. We probably have some questions over there too. Okay, thank you for putting the link. Thank you, Simone, for watching. Thank you, Margie. Really appreciate you coming. Tried krill oil, gives heaviness in the heart rate. So if you try the krill oil and you're getting heaviness in the heart, that's where I would look what you're eating, what you're taking with the krill oil around it. Are you eating food, or play with those type of things, and sometimes that can help. Typically, it's just your body needing time to process it. Okay, all right. Well, I think that's it, everybody. Again, thank you guys so much for watching and just being here with us and being in our community. Thank you for all your questions. These webinars are a lot of fun for us. We're going to keep doing them every 2 weeks, and we have a whole great holiday series coming up. Rachel is even going to be on here. We're going to show you some fun recipes for Thanksgiving. So hope everyone enjoyed that. If I don't answer all the questions here, usually Krista will give me those afterwards and I will get to them later. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Again, we're going to send the recording to you. We're going to give you a link where you can get a discount to those bundles, but please check those out. I know you'll absolutely love the products. Okay. Thank you all again for your questions and have a great day. Okay. Bye-bye.